All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's get right into the stock market technical analysis. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the charts. We've got some things moving today in gold, and the markets. We'll kind of get into those and see what we have going on. I didn't put out a video yesterday because there really just was no change, nothing to really talk about. And at the end of the day, I don't want to waste my time or your guys' putting out the same video. So I think I'm going to continue to do that. If there's nothing that's really changed, or if I don't see any, individual unique trade ideas or anything that really is key to point out, there's no point in doing a video. So, but today we do have some updates. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. Triple Qs, guys. No real change today on the daily. The biggest thing that I'm really watching is the PPO. Okay, well, I'm looking for that PPO bearish crossover right here. We don't have that yet. PPO still pointed up on the daily chart, and there's no bearish crossover yet. So looking for that on the daily chart. In order for that to really show up, we need to have some sort of a down day. And then on the RSI, starting to see that turn down. Okay, you can see it right there, starting to turn down. The RSI typically moves first, and then you'll have the PPO usually follow. So I'm looking for the PPO bearish crossover. Nothing today. Maybe we'll get it, maybe today, maybe not. So no real change on the hourly, on the daily. On the hourly, we've got some updates. So here's your triple Qs hourly, and you can see clear negative divergence there on the hourly PPO. And if I'll just have to redraw this on the RSI. You basically have it right. It's basically kind of an even high right there in the RSI. Bearish PPO crossover though, right there. We got that the other day. And, the market's been kind of struggling, at least triple Qs. It's not going down, but it's not really going up. It's really what's happening is we're just kind of floating here, waiting for something, some sort of a catalyst, not really moving up or down. So still waiting for that bearish PPO crossover. We do have it on the hourly. We do have the negative divergence. So that helps confirm that negative divergence on the hourly, which should set us up for a pullback here on this hourly chart. And if we get the pullback on the hourly, I think we're probably likely to get that PPO crossover on the daily. So that's what I'm looking for on triple Qs. We'll jump over to the futures. Let's go to the daily here. Same thing, no bearish PPO crossover there on the futures. We are waiting. There's kind of two things I'm really looking for on this. One, obviously the bearish PPO crossover, really looking for that. And then two, the former breakout or the former high was right there about 1381. I'd like to see that fail. All right, I'd like to see that cross back below that former resistance area. You can see we had two reactions there. They broke out. So I'm looking for that to fail and the bearish PPO crossover. So two things I'm looking for there on the daily chart. On the hourly, you can see, let me kind of clean this up. On the hourly, we do have the negative divergence. All right, there it is. Let me kind of mark that out. All right, you do have the bearish PPO crossover. And so again, that is setting us up for a move down on the hourly chart. It's just a matter of, you can probably see they're kind of making the secondary, trying to hold this, it looks like. But looking for that to break down, all right, and start to head lower. We get the move lower in the hourly. It's likely going to give us the bearish PPO crossover on the daily. S&P 500. So the S&P 500, I've got a key level of resistance. It's almost dual resistance, 410.80 up to this potential trend line. You can see this is kind of the bear market rally that started back in October. You can see support. We've got a cluster of support right there. Kind of held it there a little bit and finally broke. Got a little whippy, but basically definitely broke right there. And then this price action has been just a big back test. So we're at or near resistance. Again, I think the upside is limited. We're really just waiting for the market to kind of roll over. Momentum is clearly dropping off. You can see we have negative divergence. And, if they want to run up and pop it, make a new high, that's possible. I don't know if we're going to get that. But, and put in like a new divergent high, maybe we might get it. But in general, momentum, the last divergent high here on the daily was put in, and I think we've started a downtrend, something like that. Okay. If I look at the hourly, there's your bearish PPO crossover. Now the hourly on the RSI, there's the bearish PPO crossover, but no real negative divergence. Okay, so you can see we kind of made a new higher high on the PPO. So yeah, mixed signals there. We're at resistance, so we'll see if we get that continued pullback. For me, a lot of it comes down to these FANG stocks. Again, they're just the heavily weighted stocks in the triple Qs and also the S&P 500. So these things, they're just big giants, and when they move, they just drag the market with them. So on these, if I go to the daily chart on Amazon, look, still at resistance. All right, nothing's changed. We're just sitting there, not moving down, not moving up. It's just a little battleground. Google, basically, there's your dual resistance area. They're stepping in and selling it today a little bit. Again, we're at resistance on the daily, so nothing's changed with that one. Apple, again, just slightly above the, the resistance. This is big resistance on Apple. This is your bear market in Apple. And even though it doesn't really seem like a bear market, it is making a series of lower highs and lower lows. So again, we're up at that resistance level right there and just going nowhere. All right. So this is where the sellers should be at. Now, what you'd want to look for is obviously bearish PPO crossover really very soon. All right. Because if you get the bearish PPO crossover anytime soon on the daily chart, then you're going to have the negative divergence remain and be confirmed on that PPO daily. And that's going to help firm up the bearish case. So I'd be looking for that. And then ultimately probably going to head down to this trend line. They'll probably try to hold it there, but ultimately I think it breaks. Okay. So still sitting at resistance. Meta, again, sitting at resistance. Microsoft, just slightly above resistance. So nothing has changed in the last few days. And then Google is basically the same as the other one, just kind of sitting there at resistance, just slightly above right now. But we do have that negative divergence, not fully confirmed. We need to see that bearish PPO crossover to help confirm. So we're still waiting for a little bit more in the PPO to help confirm that we've got these divergences intact, and we're going to likely have a high probability of rolling over. Okay, GDX. I did stop out of this short trade today. Small loss on that one. Had to get out because here's what I'm saying. Again, I liked it as a short because we were at resistance right here. You can see kind of key resistance. And again, when you're at resistance, that's where it's objective to short at resistance. We have negative divergence on the daily chart as of right now, PPO. But as I zoom in, I'm starting to see this RSI, and it looks like we're starting to burn through that right there on the RSI. Now, the day's not over, but again, if you get this at the end of the day, that is going to be an RSI divergence that was burned through, and that's pretty bullish to see that. So I would expect the PPO to probably do the same. To me, this almost looks like a breakout, honestly. Now, I think, that's what it looks like, is just a breakout. I'm seeing the RSI divergence get burned through. As I scroll through some of these individual stocks like this one, KGC, all right, when I look at that, I can see a downtrend line here. All right, so you can see we're at resistance. We were clearly at resistance right there, so it was objective to short. But again, that short has so far failed, and this looks like a breakout. All right, up 6%. That's impulsive. When I look at the RSI on the daily, you can see, boom, burning through that divergence. On the PPO and the RSI. Now, again, that's just one stock, and one stock doesn't make up the entire market. But when I see stuff like this, and then I see the GDX burning through the RSI daily divergence, tells me it's time to get out, and that short's not going to work. So threw that one away for a small loss, and again, it looks like a breakout. So, play that as you would like. The dollar, also, this is really interesting today. I'm seeing the dollar, down about 0.5%. So the dollar's falling. That makes, gold's moving up and the dollar's falling. And then bonds, when I go to the TLT, you can see that the bonds are bid too. So starting to see what potentially looks like a risk-off trade where they're buying the safe havens, gold, bonds. The dollar's being sold off. Well, the dollar can be a safe haven trade, but as of right now, I'm seeing bonds and gold being bid. So we'll keep an eye on that dollar. It's just interesting to see the safe haven trade in play today. Now, the dollar still has the potential to have bullish divergence. All right, if we drop down a little bit lower and make a new low, we could still hold this higher momentum and then turn up, and look for the bullish crossover, and that would confirm bullish divergence. But as of right now, we don't have that. We just have the potential divergence. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. And then when I look in my sectors, I notice, for one, the most of the sectors, you can see kind of what's going on. Most of the sectors are down. Financials are selling down pretty heavily. The home builders are getting smoked. The industrials look pretty bad. Pretty broad-based selling across the board. The tech is holding up there relatively. It's up just barely, but again, you see the rest of the sectors. And then XLV is up, so that's a safe haven play as well. So to me, it looks like the market's shifting to risk off, which should mean that the opportunity, in tech moving to the downside, I think is where there's potential for a lot of opportunity there. As I kind of scan some of these industrials, they're all, having pretty strong selling days. Big rejection candles. JCI, boom, right through the 200-day. Nucor, this is, I think they do steel, big sell-off day. United Rentals, the rental company, they do a lot of construction equipment rentals. And also CAT, you'll notice that CAT, basically big rejection candle heading back down to the 200. I think there's very good likelihood that this is heading down to fill this gap at 200 right down here. So good probability that takes place. Again, this had a divergent high here. All right, there's your uptrend line we broke. That was your sell signal, and it's been trending lower since. So this thing is in a move, a downtrend. All right. And again, what I'm seeing, just fundamentally, to see these industrials like this rolling over, it tells me that they're starting to price in a recession. All right, slower economic growth. That should have an impact on oil as well. When I look at XLE, you can see here XLE, I've got an uptrend line on oil, all right, and nice support here. And then we had a breakdown sell signal, and this is a back test, all right. That's actually a pretty objective back test. Now, I didn't really have negative divergence on the daily that I could say was very clean. So, we'll see. But again, that does look like a back test and a rejection. So I think that, the market to me looks like it's pricing in a recession. And again, these tech stocks, they're not going to hold up through a recession. All right. If you have a recession, these tech stocks are going to come down, especially the semiconductors. SOXX, you can see back below that former high. All right, there it is right there. Now, this is a daily chart, so we'll see how they close the day. The market has been pretty whippy, where we've definitely seen a lot of end-of-the-day recoveries. We had one yesterday. The buyers kind of wait, and then they step in at the end of the day and try to pump it back up. We're seeing, we're definitely seeing a lot of that, so we'll see how today closes. But as of right now, we've got this former high, 438.71, popped above it right here. That high was a divergent high. All right, negative divergence with a high likelihood of failing, and so far back below that resistance line. All right, or that is former support, but now we're back below it. So we'll see how we sell down. Look for the bearish PPO crossover on the daily chart. You can see we're pointed down. Looks like it's about to do that. So we just need to see that to help confirm these divergences. We get that, it's very likely we're heading down to the trend line right there, and then ultimately going to break and start to move lower. So that's the way I'm leaning. Okay, guys, if you're finding value in the content, drop me a thumbs up. If you're interested in learning this as a skill set, take my technical analysis course, link in the description below. And if you're interested in additional trade ideas and market insights, I gave the group, the private member group, a trade idea this morning. Link in the description below on that one. All right, I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.